Hey, it's Desiree Stafford of DesireeStafford.com. If you want to collapse your monthly income into a week or a sale, check me out at DesireeStafford.com. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We're talking about how to overcome the frustrations, the disappointment, the worry, the mental BS that literally will block your sales if you don't know how to overcome it. All right. So this is coming up for lots of different reasons. One is because I was connecting with someone who very recently, actually today, who was going through this. I've been through this 101 times. So that's why I want to share with you what I know. So give me 2 seconds because I want to share this with my group, High End Sales Badassery. And I'm also going to share it on my personal profile today and see how that goes. But the reason I, like I said, I'm talking to you about this is because you know that when you decide you're going to do something big, sometimes the shit hits the fan, right? So let's say, for example, you want to make 10K, 20K weeks or sales, right? That's what I teach my clients how to do. And you're trying like hell to see those kind of sales or whatever kind of sales you're trying to do in your business. And you're not seeing the results fast enough. Obviously, bills are due, whatever kind of pressure or sense of urgency you're experiencing, it's happening right now in real time. So you need to figure out, how to move past this, how to actually attract the results that you want instead of expecting or experiencing the wrong things to happen, which is what typically happens for many people. So that's why I'm doing this, because I really want to talk to you about, especially coming from my perspective as someone who's a worrier. I worry about every friggin' thing. I want to share with you from my perspective hey, Rebecca, how are you? How you can actually use some of that to your advantage, right? How you can actually shift I'm going to tell you some things that I think are in conflict to what a lot of other people put out there, but this is going to serve you if you're someone like me, if you're someone who worries, if you're someone who's experienced a lot of disappointment. Sometimes we have a tendency to focus on our lack consciousness because it's a practiced habit for us. I'm going to tell you what you can do to shift it, all right? Give me one more second. I'm going to share this on my own little timeline. All right, and one more place. One more place, sorry. Because I think this is a really important message. I think this is something that a lot of people are going to want to pay attention to. Hey, by the way, for those of you joining, thanks for being here. There we go. Okay. And I will be taking questions if you have any. Hey, Legina, how are you? Okay, so, and I'm looking at my notes because I have a group call that I'm leading in not too long from now. So I just quickly wrote up some notes on this topic, all right? Hi. Okay, so I talked to you about what you can often experience, right? You set out, let's say you set out for a goal. It's the end of September, right? You've set out to achieve whatever income goal. Let's say you haven't achieved it yet. And so sometimes you can get consumed by the disappointment. Sometimes you can feel consumed by the worry that it's not going to happen. Sometimes you can be consumed by the mental shit that's going on in your head that's telling you it's never going to happen, right? So you need to find a way to manage these feelings, these emotions, these thoughts that are creating these feelings and emotions, because if you don't, then you are not going to get what you want. And this is the game that so many of us play. We get stuck in this cycle. We say we want one thing. We start out with every ambition in the world, every intention in the world to get there, but then things happen, right? Typically, we get the opposite of what we expect to manifest. And so then it takes our head out of the game. We start to, feel like, oh my God, it's never going to happen, right? This was me. This has always been me, right? So again, you're getting this insight from someone who has a tendency to freak out, like many of us do. So I'm going to tell you how I manage it and how I tell my clients to manage it so that you can manage it for yourself and start to experience better results in your business and in your life, by the way, right? Because this can actually, help you in anything that you're dealing with in life where it feels overwhelming, where it feels too hard, where it feels like it's never going to work no matter how much effort you put in. Hi, guys. Okay, so the first thing is, all the advice people tell you to stay positive, to power through it, to ignore what you feel, to pretend you're happy all the time. I'm going to tell you not to do that. And the reason I'm going to tell you not to do that is because your feelings are an indication of what you're really thinking, of the thoughts and the beliefs that you're still holding on to, right? And when you're constantly trying to power through what you actually feel, what you're doing is creating more resistance, okay? This is what many of us do. This is what I was doing, and it creates more of a problem than it actually helps. So your feelings are telling you that you're either thinking or believing something that's not in alignment with you achieving your goal. This is good to know. Because now this gives you an opportunity to do something about it, right? Versus trying to power through it. Here's what's going to happen. You're not going to create the result that you want. Typically, you are going to create the opposite effect, and then that's going to just cause burnout, right? Because you're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, not getting the results, reinforcing the belief that it's not going to happen, and it's going to create burnout, and you may even just quit, right? So I would recommend that you don't do that. I would recommend that you actually allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, right? When you're marketing, when you're doing sales conversations, you need to be coming from a place of confidence, right? Not a place of desperation. And when you're trying to push through your feelings and trying to tell yourself you feel something that you don't feel, you're coming from this place of fear and desperation. You're not coming from a fully aligned place. You're not coming from a place where you feel confident about what you're doing. You're in fear, right? And when you're in fear, you're going to beget more fear. You're going to create more worry, things like of that nature, because everything is energy. We know that, right? So I would recommend that you actually feel all of your feelings. Hear me out, though. I don't want you to dwell in your feelings. I don't want you... Well, you can have a pity party, but it has to be short. Like, it can't be like a week-long pity party, right? But just allow yourself to feel what you feel. Allow yourself to even go to the worst-case scenario if you feel like you need to do that. Whatever it is that you need to do to acknowledge how you're really feeling in the present moment and be done with it so you can release it. So that might be, reaching out to your coach or your mentor and saying, listen, I'm in some shit. Can you help me out? You know what I mean? And have them ask you questions to help you kind of untangle the confusion in your brain, right? It could mean journaling. That serves the same type of purpose where you're getting all of those negative feelings and emotions out of you, pouring them onto paper. But get rid of them so that you can release them instead of trying to power through and pretend you don't feel what you feel. And that just, like I said, creates resistance. And the more resistance you create, the harder it is going to be for you to attract, right? Because you're not allowing at that point. You're trying to force, right? This is a mistake that so many of us make. So like I said, the first recommendation I would give you is to feel what you're feeling. Let those feelings pass, right? Because also when you do that, it brings you back to the state of calm and relaxation so that you actually now have the presence of mind to actually make better choices, right? Maybe you need to change your plan. Maybe you need to allow yourself to receive, inspiration before you take action, right? But you can't get to that place if your mind is constantly running, if you're constantly worried, because what's going to happen is if you're worried, fearing the worst, you're going to attract that. Right? You're going to attract that, and you don't want that. Hey, Rita, how are you? You don't want that, right? You want to attract the very best clients, the most money, whatever it is that you're out there trying to do right now, right? And the way that you do that is by allowing yourself to feel what you feel, letting those feelings pass, and then that's when you come back to this place of being calm and relaxed so that you are now a channel to receive, right? Now you're a channel to receive whatever inspiration, whatever creativity you need in order to get the results that you want. Okay? Make sense? All right. Second thing is, you now have a chance, once you allow those negative feelings to pass, you now have a chance to evaluate what it is that you want and why you want it, right? Awesome. From down under. That's cool. Now you have a chance to evaluate what you really want and why you want it, right? So maybe the thing that you think you want consciously, you don't really want, right? Maybe you're creating a sense of resistance for a reason. Right? Maybe you don't think you're good enough. Maybe you don't think you're worthy. And I can just tell you right now, that is not the truth. But that doesn't mean that that's not what you're thinking. Right? So now you have an opportunity to allow whatever beliefs might be there for you to allow them to come up and dismantle them. Right? But if you're trying to power through, you're not open to the message that the resistance is giving to you. So you can't effectively change. Right? This is about transformation because when I teach my clients how to make more money in their business, this is not about a one and done type of thing. This is not about having a 10K or 20K month, 30K month, and then forget it. You never can repeat it. No, this is about working through all your shit so that you can do this month after month after month, which is why it's so important to really pay attention to the lessons in whatever it is that you're experiencing right now. Okay? So reevaluate what you want and why you want it, because when you do that and you're clear on what you want and why you want it, it can help you, re-engage the desire to create that, to attract that into your life, to manifest it. Okay. I already talked about once you're calm and relaxed, you can become the open channel for the creativity and inspiration that you need to take action. All right. The next tip I want to share with you is that it's all good all the time. I think I've written about this before, but here's what I mean by this. One of my favorite mentors one of the things that she would say to me when I was going through this stuff and I couldn't make sense of it, she'd say, you know, you need to use everything you're experiencing as a reason why you're going to get the result that you want, right? Use everything that you're experiencing as a reason why to get the result that you want. So, you know, a lot of times people will say, you know, create like an evidence journal and be grateful for everything that you're experiencing. Well, this is taking it another step higher, because most of the time when we think about, you know, creating an evidence journal and looking for support that we're going to manifest what we want to manifest, we're looking for all the positive things, everything that we perceive to be positive. But I would also challenge you to look at everything that you perceive to be negative and find a way to turn that into a reason why you're going to get what you want. Now, here's a great example. Let's say, you know, you need to make sales, the cash isn't in the bank, you know, the bill collectors are calling you, or the bills are showing up in the mail. And typically your response, your reaction would be, oh my God, freak out. This means, you know, there's not enough time for me to make the money to make the payment. What I would challenge you to say is, okay, great. I got a new bill. Awesome. That means the money to pay this has to be here. You see how simple that is? How simple it is to reframe a negative experience into something positive, into something that supports the fact that you're going to manifest whatever it is you want to manifest. You see how simple that can be? The challenge is we don't think to do that. We go into our natural, you know, reaction mode, because many of us are taught to worry about bills. We're taught to worry about debt. We're taught to worry about a lack of money. And so the more we do that, the more we focus on what we don't want. And the subconscious is doing all kinds of shit, you know, to take your focus off of changing, to take your focus off of you getting what it is that you want, because your subconscious is designed to protect you, and it thinks it's protecting you by keeping you where you are, right? So that's why you want to, I don't want to say trick your subconscious, but I really want you to reframe every single experience to support whatever it is that you want. Every single experience you can do it with, right? You can say, you know, I don't even know what other problems you could have. Let's see. Credit card companies are calling you and you don't have the cash physically in the bank right now. You can say, awesome, they're calling me. What a great reminder that the money to pay them has to be here, right? Now, obviously, what I'm talking about a lot is law of polarity. I'm talking about universal laws, which is beyond the scope of today's live stream, but I'm sure you're familiar with some of these kind of principles, right? Because I tend to attract people who are more spiritual in nature. So I'm sure you're familiar with some of these principles, but use them to your advantage. Awesome, Legina. I'm glad it helps you. Use them to your advantage. You know, I'm still starting to get familiar with the live stream thing. So if I don't like and comment and notice your comments right away, it's just me getting used to the platform. But like I said, use everything to your advantage. So let's recap some of the things I talked about. The reality is, I don't care where you are in life and in business, challenges, worries, upsets are things that are going to happen, right? So how do you manage them so they don't get in the way, so they don't take you out of the game? The first thing I recommend is that you feel all of your feelings. You allow yourself 20 minutes, you know, whatever time you need to just go all the way into the feeling and then let it pass, because you can't let it go if you're trying to resist it. Anything we resist will persist. So you can tell yourself all day long, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. But if you're really feeling I'm pissed off, I'm pissed off, I'm pissed off, that feeling is going to come through. And remember, our energy is so important in the marketing that we do. Right? And we also want to be able to convey confidence and conviction in our marketing and our sales conversations. You can't do that if your mind is trying to fight what you really feel, right? Now, your feelings are a great indication of your thoughts and your beliefs. So that's an opportunity for you to really examine what thoughts and beliefs are currently coming up that are, you know, creating this resistance for you, okay? What else I talk about? I also said to reevaluate why you want what you want, and what you want, I should say, and why you want it, right? Because that gives you a great opportunity to make sure, you know, your ladder is leaning up against the right wall, right? Because what if you no longer want what you thought you wanted, or what if you never really wanted that? It was just kind of something that, you know, maybe it was someone else's vision, someone else's dream. So this is your opportunity to make sure that this is what you really want. Get connected with why you want it, because that will reinvigorate you, right? To move in the right direction. Also, once you allow yourself to feel what you feel and you let the emotions pass, that is when you become this open vessel. That is when the intuitive hits will come to you. That's when you'll get the creativity that you need to go out and get whatever it is that you want. And then finally, I talked about, you know, one of the things that my mentor would say to me was use everything to your advantage, right? Use everything as proof, as evidence that you are going to get what you want. And I gave you some examples. Bills come in the mail. Awesome. That means that the money to pay those bills must be here. Make sense? Got it. All right. So I hope you got a lot of value out of today's video. I know some of you think it's a powerful concept, so awesome. If you have any comments or questions, you're more than welcome to ask me here, or if you're watching the replay, you're more than welcome to type them into the comment box. I will reply. And until we speak again, I hope you're up to big, bold things in your life and your business. If you are at a point in your life where you want to move past all this disappointment, this worry, this bullshit, and you want some guidance and support so that you can see 10K, 20K sales in weeks, hit me up at DesireeStafford.com. Until we speak again, I hope you're up to big, bold things in your life and your business. Take care.